What's up, kittens and intergalactic family? Welcome to Planet Kitten, the sharing, the pollination of observations in my multidimensional experience to yours. Last night, I decided that I was going to have a dance party, so I did. And this Airbnb that I'm staying at, the TV can let me put my Spotify on the television. So I have this enormous television that I'm just using as a better speaker than my phone. And I put the lyrics on, and I had found first this one playlist that was 2000 club bangers. This playlist was spot on. I was just I felt like I was 19 again, literally raving. And I want to tangent on this and say, dang, the music then, I'm trying to I'm holding this, so my arm is getting tired. The music back then, although very, very good, also problematic. And one of the songs that I was absolutely grossed out by, recognizing what the lyrics were, was Blame It by Jamie Foxx featuring somebody, I don't know who it is. That entire song, in my opinion, is a I felt like I was listening to the defense statement of somebody who sexually assaulted or violated another person, regardless of if it was male and female or female and male. I mean, any of the combos, male, female, female, male, regardless. Blaming alcohol as the reason for the misbehavior, that whole song. And I always think about one of the major things during my spiritual ascensions that I immediately sorted out was the musical content that I was listening to, because I feel that music is something that can be used to positively brainwash somebody. And with that meaning, on the flip side, it can also be used to negatively impact somebody's thought process. And I was thinking about how I partied a lot as in my late teens and throughout my 20s. I really like house music, so I like to go out dancing a lot. And hence why I was having a dance party last night by myself. James and Marcia, they were there. They slept the whole time. You ever have those friends that you're out in the club and it's not, you're not even there 2 hours and they're ready to go home? I'm just we just got here. What do you mean, I like to be the last one on the dance floor. Okay, going back to the song. I was saying that because Jane and Marcia were sleeping the whole time. I did have the music. See, I allowed them to be my volume, police. Because I was okay, if they meow or they're looking at me sideways and I know that the music's too loud. So I was adjusting the volume on some of the songs. I was all right. Some of them I wanted it to be max, but they were it's not going to work. Just a funny aside. Tangent there. Okay, backing up. So this song, on a very energetically serious note, was played so many times in the clubs where people were already experiencing potentially altered states of consciousness, whether it was from the spirit of alcohol or cannabis or any other substance that one would indulge in to have an uplifted experience, to have an altered state of consciousness in those experiences. And for me, like, I started going out at 19. So from 19 to 25, my frontal lobe was still very much under development. So mixing that with substances and spirits that have altered states of consciousness as the effect, now I'm being even more susceptible to whatever it is. And sometimes I, think there were songs that were on last night. Whoop, oh, there. James, Marsha, Cat Watch. There were some songs last night that I thought I knew the words. I thought I knew the lyrics. I did not know the lyrics. Like, way off. And the lyrics that I did hear were cheeky, naughty, vulgar in my subjective opinion, and some of them very violent language. And I love that. I love that they're there. I love that I use them as the album art for this experience of Planet Kitten. He's just so handsome. She's just, look at that face. Okay. Okay, right. Where was I? This song. The programming. So in the sense of the frontal lobe still developing, very susceptible to the information that I was being fed. And that music is loud AF. Like, sometimes earplugs are necessary. And quite frankly, my great-grandfather did actually lose his hearing because he never wore, or at least what I think the tale is that he didn't always wear headphones, proper ear coverage at different events. Like, he was around the racetrack a lot. He owned a farm, so he was always like around loud machinery. So dance, and consider the earplugs. I am now going to be doing that. And also, I watched that movie Creed, very good movie, the other day. And one of the things about one of the characters is that she said that she has progressive hearing loss. And I thought that was pretty, I don't know. I'm just having that was 147 on the clock, reverse, or 741 rather. Okay, hold on. I gotta back up. This song, Impressionable, Frontal Lobe, Until 25, Altered States of Consciousness, bullet points right here, of the music industry and other media programming generations of people about sexual aggression. And then I started thinking about how that impacts today's dating experience, and even from my own reflection of the misperception that people are having in the dating experience within their own boundaries. Because even in the beginning of that song, Blame It, there's a statement made that she says she doesn't always do this, or this is not something that she always does. Yet through the, I'm trying to think, behavior science, behaviorally, how it would go. Because I don't know if it's, well, what's coming to mind is using the alcohol or using the substance to, I don't know if a sense of, well, that feels controversial to say. Well, this is a possibility. I can hold these multiple truths at one time. Of, is the substance weakening the willpower of the underlying preference of somebody? Or is the substance or altered states of consciousness destroying the boundaries of a person or a person's boundaries? Like, do people want to be primal in that sense? Like, to meet somebody and, like, the soul thinking about this. Because I believe that the soul chooses everything that happens, whether it's the messenger or receiving the message. So even if it feels horrendous, unfathomable, disrespectful, degrading, all of that demonic energy, negative adjectives, the soul still took the time before even descending here. As I like to say, Robin Roberts, I think that's her name. She has a very good master class on, I think it's like communication or public speaking, about telling your own story. And she says, make your mess your message. Because there's souls assigned to us. And the lived experience as a peer supporter, that lived experience is what is the glue, the connector, the similarity between my soul and another soul of choosing these experiences here. So source can continue to, wow, a blue jay just flew by. That source can, another one. How fun. Another blue jay. That was so cool. So that source can have the data point to understand boop, 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 all of these things. Now, I know that it feels controversial in my bodysuit, because in no way am I meaning any sort of disregard or insensitivity to individuals who in the secular world experience these sorts of atrocities, these sorts of, see, I don't even want to use, secularly, I want to use the word atrocities. Soul knowledge, I understand that unconditional love. No judgment of what happens. Allowing, observing, and not absorbing. The soul chose to do these things, to have these experiences, to support the unraveling, the illumination, the enlightenment of the soul, to get on the path, to check them into the path of awareness that I am you and you are me. And as we go through all of these different things, whether we are the aggressor or are we the receiver, the doer or the receiver, I want to remove the aggressor word. The giver, the doer, or the receiver. To have that as all an accumulation of data points for source to say, this is how this could go. In the secular world, it does not take away from the mindset that we are all still humans we are still all souls having a human experience. And within these bodysuits, we still feel that spectrum of emotions. It's curious. It's a curious observation that I'm having. And then there is well, the word nefarious is coming to mind, of the other option of low frequency, low vibrational behaviors, demonic spirits of lust, being attached to souls. Again, the contrast is needed. The light and the dark. One of the biggest things that I experienced in a relationship that ended abruptly was gratitude for what happened, because there was a moment that I recognized that I needed to have that exact experience in order to expand. And that they chose, oh wow, there's a swarm. There's so many birds flying today. It's so cool. I love swarms. I want this to be a swarm. There's so much great content that keeps coming into my universe, my 3D, to represent these new beliefs, the breaking down of specific mindsets, allowing myself to expand, to have an even more Christ-like consciousness of unconditional love, of universal love, and understanding that I am you and you are me, and that the divine light in me honors the divine light in you, because we are all from the same light source. The brotherhood, we are all one. And source collectively cannot awaken from this experience until we all are unified as one person, as one light. Everyone has to remember who they are. Like, imagine an entire wall of light brights. And as we're all coming online, our light is lighting up. Well, Source has over 8 billion lights that need to be turned on. And we're gaining momentum. The swarm is happening where there's more people that are coming aware to see, like, what's going on here. Something seems a bit off. Age of Aquarius, the religious glasses are coming off. The curiosity. I don't even want to say the religious hats are coming off. I'm going to say the curiosity. Lori Harder says this all the time. Well, I don't know all the time. That was a bizarre assumption. She says that... I got distracted. There was a really cool car that went by. Lori Harder says, that don't try to take something away. Trans Am just went by. Don't try to take everything away. Actually, I think it was a Camaro. Don't take everything away. Just keep adding more of the good stuff. So there's more curiosity being added instead of the fixed mindset of there's only one way to think, causing disharmony and friction across many souls. And again, I feel like Source had in this experience that wherever somebody was born, their soul chose. I think it's kind of like Game of Thrones, like soul. Well, I don't know if you know. I'm just saying that I feel like it's very a good representation is Game of Thrones, where you had all these different kingdoms, and within those kingdoms, they all were, I'll say, of a similar mindset. And then it's about moving around and seeing how this friction happened. And I'm using the kingdoms to be similar as a analogy for religions, mindsets, beliefs, behaviors. Like, really, just like take a favorite food, right? For kingdoms, you could have the apple kingdom, you could have the pear kingdom, you could have the banana kingdom, you could have the mango kingdom. Like, you can put, I apologize. I am really trying to stop saying because I don't want to project an assumption on anybody. Backing up, wow, we have kind of gone from blame it on the alcohol to kingdoms of fruits. Funny. Okay, I should have done kingdoms of desserts. ice cream, cupcakes, cookies, brownies, carrot cake kingdom. Yes, I just want one carrot cake kingdom, my favorite dessert. All right, backing up. So the second one of the nefarious mindset of perhaps individuals using these spirits because perhaps they have a demonic attachment to themselves, like that is feeding off of them, and also that their soul also chose to be the contrast. That's where I was going with this. That their soul also came into contract to be the contrast. Perhaps the lower frequencies are here, like they're double agents. Like first they're low frequency people, like low frequency behaviors, mindsets, whatever that is, the programming. And they are used as a catalyst. Gosh, I feel like this is, I'm thinking of Moira in the L Word because, well, this is when she was identifying, I don't know what the gender was. I'm just going to say, when Moira was sitting at the head of the table in this episode of the L Word, they're talking about, they give the example of the lobsters. And I think it's like the female lobsters, either the female lobsters or the male lobsters. I don't know which one. They create, one of them will keep them in. Once they feel the water, they're like, no, you are not getting out. So they'll pull each other down. And then the opposite, male or female, then the other option is they create a ladder to help people get out of the burning bucket. So I'm wondering if low frequency individuals, part of their soul contract is that they're being low frequency because they are the first rung for the other lobsters to have their awakening. And there's like this, and maybe in the beginning it's like, it's not like a huge jump, like maybe it's just like these sort of like little back and forth. I'm getting like this like little, like the lines are closer, single line closer. And then as the ascension continues, then it is even more of a bigger jump because the scaffolding, the progression of the learning had to be very tight, the steps, to be able to allow for the major quantum leaps. That's the image I'm getting. Anyways, perhaps the low frequency individuals in my reality are there as part of the steps. However, it is up to me as well. The reason why we're one single line interconnected going back and forth is because the experience is baton passing to energies. As people are choosing to be in those lower frequencies to support someone's ascension, the faith must be held by the person who makes the ascension of unconditional love to create the butter, create the space, create the opportunities for the lower frequencies to also awaken. So it's not that everybody's not awakening. It's that depending on what the soul has chosen determines the type of awakening that one has, the speed of one's awakening. And it's the balance, I feel, of the sacrifice of one and the unconditional love of the other. I even take this to my own experience with my caregivers, that they did the best they could from their highest aligned frequency at that space-time reality throughout my life. And now it is up to me to move forward and compost that and use it to support other people who are assigned to me, souls assigned to me, to say like, yeah, these are things that I experienced. Like, this is my testimony. This is the ways that I have overcome those different experiences of deep-rooted childhood programming. Going right back to the whole purpose, this is how I know I'm wrapping this up, of the full circle of the song. Like looking at all of these different impressionable ages throughout my life and all these different things that have happened, and understanding that my soul chose those experiences because I needed to have all of those so I could be here right now to have this experience. It's all as on top of each other progressively. And sometimes, yeah, takes a catwalk, goes a little off because we still have free will. Yet all paths lead to the same ending. Back to the light, back to source, back to the enlightenment. So I love, like I've been coming across a lot of Gen Z content creators that are very much aligned to where I am right now. And I'm like so grateful to see that, because it shows that there is the swarms. It's happening. The energies are all coming together to support one another in love, no matter what. Forgiveness, love, forgiveness and love. And it's so beautiful. I'm so grateful that my soul chose to be here in this time-space reality to see now what will happen of this collective rejoining of harmony, and also how that will express in generations to come. Like, it is a positive delight to be a part of this, to experience this sense of sanctuary and serenity. It's dope. Okay, so back to the song. I'm gonna wrap it up as my summary. This song is a blueprint for a testimony of someone who experienced the spirit of an altered state, a substance that caused an altered state of consciousness. So those were the two things of the soul, whether or not, I guess, like the meaning of this, of the substance, of the substances. Like, what's the purpose? Is the human condition primal in that sense? And which way primal, actually, of not even just from a sexual energy standpoint, also straight up from primal control, power over. It's curious. Source was very curious with this creation. And then the other one is the primalness. Either way, aggression and violence. Much to think about, much to think about. Nevertheless, this song was bizarre. And I did do a quick Google to see like what was up. If anyone else had like thought about this, and people are saying this. So I from the very beginning, here we go. This is the concluding part of, I started this off saying that I was having a dance party with my inner child last night. So I was listening to all his music, and I put on the TV the lyrics. So I was watching the lyrics, and this is just one song of many songs that came on that I know that were super popular and have been super popular, and even just like in any genre, in any time, that are, in my opinion, violent in language. That the programming is this innate disharmony, this aggression, this tension being programmed into the psyche at very impressionable moments at a club under an altered state of consciousness. In even like religious moments. Someone's having like a coming to, I'm using this colloquially, somebody is saying, having a come to Jesus moment. That's a very impressionable, high state of feeling, you know, like when people are impressionable there in those moments. Perhaps allowing a third eye clarity coming in. Oh, I was adding that earlier as well, of the different kingdoms. I believe it's all circling back to one being their highest self, and their highest self is connecting back to source. So no matter what religion, whatever their mindsets, beliefs, whatever it may be, that is creating that community with around somebody, that is intentional. That is the way they speak. They communicate with their higher self, with the universe, understanding different things, which all result coming back to oneself, higher self, source. Okay. I'm going to put a pin in it. That was fun. Let's see. Are they still up there? Oh, they're still there. Yeah. Okay. Blessings and abundance, ease and flow to each and every one of you. And until next time, bye.